And so if I can control my own stuff instead of somebody else controlling it for me that can perform just as shitty as I can, then, you know,
100%. Yeah, most people just don't know they can do it. And so I do think it's exciting, but it's hard to get, people really have to be looking for it in general, or you got to get their attention somehow. But because you talk about IRAs, it's like talking about the IRS.
yeah, like I said, not super. All right. Welcome, Jessica. I know Mariana said she was coming for sure. So we'll just hold out till we get some more people. And then is it okay to share like the link with them that has the like your resource, like your
Yeah,
name
yeah,
tag and
for
thing?
sure.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure.
So we'll do video and then we'll do link for resource. So where are you out of? You go back and forth, right?
I'm mostly in Southern California is where I'm at. My office though is in Las Vegas and in New Mexico. So I go there once a month and then I stay in California as much as I can. Where are you at?
I'm in Lake Havasu, so
Okay.
not that far from you.
No, not far. Kind of right in between both those places, Vegas
Yeah, I'll be in Vegas tomorrow for an event Friday and Saturday.
nice. It is a hot season to be there, that's for sure.
I mean, yeah,
But it's an event, so it doesn't really matter what the
yeah, I'll
weather.
be inside Resorts World the whole time.
Yeah.
So it'll be nice.
There we go.
Unless my wife makes me go walk, but to shop.
You're staying indoors.
Yeah, we try. I mean, it's still a little couple degrees
I mean,
cooler
you're
here
used to it.
usually.
I
So
mean, Lake
yeah,
Havasu's, yeah, same thing.
yeah, we don't whine too much. I don't mind heat. And it's only hot for, I mean, hot for like a month.
Yeah.
And then it can be hot, but it's decent in the morning. So mornings and at night. But I mean, it's not California. California is perfect weather-wise.
Yeah.
It's just a trade-off for everything else. Like if I could helicopter in to Newport and then just stay there
Yep.
and then helicopter out, like
I stay in my little bubble because
perfect.
people talk about it. I live in San Clemente, and so it's just we're on the ocean. It's a little town. I golf cart everywhere on the beach, but then and I just go to Orange County Airport when I want to leave. But if I go outside of that, then there's traffic, then there's politics, then there's everything else.
That's what I mean. Like for us, we can fly from here to John Wayne. We have to
Yep.
fly private, but then it's like, oh, if I did this all the time, this is perfect because you can
Yep.
be where you want to be in like 10 minutes,
That's
even
right.
with traffic. And then you don't, like you said, I had a friend that lived on the peninsula for a long time. And so we would just go there and stay at his house and right in the marina and
Yeah, you can live
ride
there.
bikes everywhere.
That's
So,
right. You can stay there.
well, we'll give it like one more minute and then we'll just get started. I want to be conscious of your time and then Jessica's on and I want to be conscious of her time too. And we're recording in 7 different ways here. So, um, people can get the recording as well. And let me get a quick pic so I can prove that I actually did it. Just kidding.
What's the demographic of those that are listening?
Um, some mostly entrepreneurs, almost everybody that I know that signed up, owns their own business of some sort.
Okay.
Jessica does fitness and her husband does landscaping. Some other people were realtors and loan people. And so, you know, um, I know like one girl that works for me, she's a realtor and a loan officer, but she worked for Verizon for years.
Hmm.
So she probably just has a 401k that's dead sitting somewhere. And that's probably why she wanted to jump on and kind of figure it out. So I think when I had put out content around it, that was like the biggest demographic was people that have something or had something and they one either forgot they had it, or two, it's just probably sitting doing nothing.
Yep.
So yeah, just give us kind of like an overview of what it is that you guys do. Um, and then what a self-directed IRA is and like what the benefits are and just a high level overview of that.
Cool.
and a little bit about yourself too. So,
Sounds good. Are you ready for me to go now? Or are you,
yeah, I mean, I say let's just jump into it. We're at 106. So,
great. Great. Well, look, what do we do? Look, my job is we started this conversation, you and I, for a second, talking about the people interested in talking about IRAs. And I was one of the few people actually when I was 23 years old that listened to some old guy talk about this subject. And thankfully I did. I had no retirement account. But I learned all about this 23 years ago purely for a selfish purpose. I couldn't get anyone to lend me money. I was 23, I didn't have any money. I was trying to do real estate, wanted to flip real estate, and I needed equity. And someone presented on this subject, and that's why it's very near and dear to my heart, is because I think almost all people, especially my age, when they hear about IRAs, it's not exciting. It's not like, oh, let me show you this picture of this house and we flipped it to this house, right? That's what we see on TV every day, right? All the pretty fun, those kind of things, or buying some, a stock or Bitcoin, right? I can show you graphs all day. This is a different subject. This is something that, believe it or not, there's over 100 million people that have an account that qualify for what I'm talking about. So most people, almost half of those that are over 18 years old in the United States, have one of these accounts and qualify for what I'm going to talk about right now. So it's a much bigger audience than you might think. It's just one of those things that most people also are unaware of, and it might be uncomfortable to talk about. So what I'm here to talk about and what we do is we teach people how to unlock and get access to their retirement accounts and invest in asset classes they know, like, and understand. I mean, that's basically it. Your advisor doesn't allow you, and this is not to hate on advisors because it's a great place for most people, but for entrepreneurs, real estate investors, a little bit more savvy investors, this is a vehicle that's been around for over 40 years that's been approved by the government to allow individuals to take an old retirement account, an old 401k or a traditional or simple or SEP or Roth IRA, take it from where it's at, all or a portion of it, move it to a company like mine, Horizon Trust. We're basically essentially like a title company. We're a custodian. So you move the money from one institution, I'll pick on Charles Schwab, let's say, and you move it over to Horizon Trust, us, and now you've just basically unlocked the door to investing your retirement funds in almost anything. And we'll talk about what that means, but for the most part, almost anything you want to invest in. And that's what's so great about a self-directed IRA. It's also could be potentially risky if you aren't doing any due diligence. If you're like, you know what, I'm going to put it all in Bitcoin. Like that's a move. Maybe not that I would make, but it's a move, right? But if you understand it, like it, and want to do it, whatever it is, from Bitcoin to precious metals to real estate to businesses, it basically unlocks all these options for you that you don't currently have. And that's what my company does. We don't advise. I don't advise and or get paid on the investment decisions you make. I unlock. I unlock the opportunity for you to use your retirement account to invest in what you want. So that's a bit about, what we do and what my company does. But obviously there's lots of examples, but I'll stop there for a second, Greg.
awesome. And so, how long have you? I know when we originally talked a little while ago, you know, you, from what I took from it was that you were kind of solving a problem that you were having, right? You were doing these types of loans, like what I do, and then to get people to get access to their funds and unlock it, since they've been around, there's obviously been companies that are custodians that allow people to do this. But you saw a need, and that need was to have it to where it was more transparent, to where it was quick, to where people understood what they were doing, and it wasn't something that bogged down if somebody was trying to make a move quickly. We know in the investment world, in the real estate investment world, a distressed asset or something that may happen today may be gone tomorrow. And so tell us a little bit about what sets you guys apart. I know it's a cliche question, but what kind of sets you guys apart from other companies if I was to go search just self-directed IRA custodians and what makes you guys so amazing?
Sure. Look, so like I said earlier, I started when I was 23 and looking to fix and flip, looking to find money, looking to lend money. And I decided once I learned about this subject, I'd go out and I taught people about self-directing purely for the purpose that they could potentially be an investor or partner of mine with their IRA. That's why I learned all about it. And so I found hundreds of people that over about a decade that wanted to, and it wasn't a ton, right? But we're talking about a few hundred, 400 people that had retirement accounts who wanted to either partner with me, do a syndication deal with me, lend to me, one of those things. And and I would refer them to trust companies. I'd say, "Hey, Greg, you want to invest in my next deal or partner with me in my next deal with your $100,000? Awesome, with your IRA. Let's get you set up." And I'd refer you to another trust company. And it was clunky. It was slow. There was people in the industry long before I started my company who were, they were it. And that's who I referred to. And they were old school bankers, really. The service was terrible. The speed was even worse. And after I referred hundreds of people to these two different companies, I was like, there's got to be a better way. And so I was like, I'm just going to create the way. So 15 years ago, 16 years ago, I created a trust company, Horizon Trust, purely because for speed and service reasons. Because frankly, we trust companies don't advise, like I said. So, it shouldn't be that hard. Now, of course, it was harder than I thought. It took more money and time. I didn't get a paycheck from it for like 3 or 4 years, but we created a really good thing. And to this day, we are a boutique small firm that helps mostly real estate investors, but really anybody that has an IRA, and we are the fastest. And I can say that with a surety. I've seen my competitors. I knew where I came from, and speed is a big deal, especially in today's world, right? As we're closing on deals or as you're rolling money over, like right now, Greg, if you're going to roll over a new account to us from another custodian, and you were to ask two different trust companies to roll that money over to us, I'm sorry, one to us and maybe another account to another trust company. Our process of getting the money from over where it is to us is on average taking us 6 to 7 days. Our competitors are between 21 and 40 days. And so it might not seem like a big deal, but 2 weeks to 4 or 5 weeks difference, especially when we're talking about interest and opportunity, is a game changer. That, let alone, so speed, first of all, and then number two, the service side. We really want to hold your hand through the process. We're old school. I'm old school. We still do a lot of phone calls. We do text as well to confirm wires, but when someone wants to open up an account with us, we do a 15-minute phone call and we help them fill out the application. What does my competitor do? They do what you and I prefer to do, which is just send me a DocuSign. I prefer that as well, by the way. I prefer not having a phone call. The issue with that is first of all, in this example I'm giving, Greg, you've maybe saved up 5, 10 years, or 20 or 30 years. So it's a big amount of money in a retirement account. So just making a mistake in a DocuSign and filling out the wrong information could mess up your retirement plan. It's not worth it. You spent too much time on it. So we do the DocuSign, but we prefer doing a 10, 15-minute phone call to fill it out, frankly, for you over the phone. And then all you got to do is review it and sign it. So our process is better, our service is better, and that's it for the most part. All trust companies, for the most part, can do the same thing. I don't pretend to do that we can do anything different than them except for our speed and our service. So that's what we got going 15, 16 years ago. We got over $1 billion in assets, over almost 8,000 clients now. And that's actually small in our industry. Our industry is not very big. There's not too many competitors, but there is two or three that have most of the business, and they're slow. And so that's why I started the trust company, and we're pretty good at it. So yeah,
Probably the two that I used to always send my people to.
probably.
So I know, like, for me, a big question is like, what is the, like you said, you can invest in almost anything. What are the major asset classes that you see people do? Like, I know you don't advise, but there's got to be like the bulk of people, like you said. I know most of them are probably real estate investors, so it's probably, anything that has to do with real estate, whether that's, can they do equity buy-ins? Is it only lending? Is it just notes? Is it like, what does that look like that they can do? I know all the stuff that I've ever done has always been promissory note, them investing into a note, when I've had people convert or people that have already converted and wanted to invest with me. It was always into a note, but I know there's way more assets that they can. And so what do those classes look like?
Yeah, so look, it's the majority of our clients, and I would say probably for most trust companies, is real estate. Now, real estate is, broad, just answering that way. I would say in the real estate world, probably 50% of our real estate investors are investing in some kind of fund or syndication. Why? Because they've already built up some money. They understand real estate. Excuse me, they already have some relationships with people and they don't want to be finding the deal, managing the deal, overseeing the deal. They just want to be potentially, like example for me is I'll give you is I like doing storage units, facilities. I've only done them now for about 4 years. And that's a place I like, but it's not necessarily just because of the asset class in real estate. It's also because of the operator. And I've learned through the hard way that I don't necessarily just invest based upon an awesome performa and a pretty marketing piece. I really like to invest in the operator, even though I might get a lesser return, right? So I've spent more of my time and energy in more of a syndication opportunity where I am equity. My IRA is equity, but it's completely passive. So my IRA would have equity in a particular deal. And so typically how that works is someone comes, look, you and I, you probably get hit up often on opportunities, all kinds of stuff, businesses, real estate, notes, whatever it is. I get to pick and choose the ones that I love that might have some tax benefits, maybe some cost seg. I leave those outside of my IRA, right? Because I want the tax benefit now. There's certain other opportunities, equity or quick flips or bigger profits that I don't want to pay taxes on that I use my IRA for. And so for me, I like the storage unit for certain deals. Some storage units, if we're not going to flip right away, then I will do a cost tag. I'll leave it outside my IRA. I'll do a use different funds. And but in general, to answer your question, most people, I'd say 70% doing real estate. Most of the 70%, they're doing some kind of fund or syndication deal. They are a truly passive investor in a real estate fund. And then I'd say the other half is a lot of different things: notes, deeds of trust, seconds, um, some wholesaling, not a lot of wholesaling, but some wholesaling, fix and flips, buying an Airbnb. That's the other thing with an IRA is you still also can get leverage, but the leverage has to be non-recourse leverage, meaning you can't or your IRA can't personally guarantee the loan. So if you find an asset, let's say it's $200,000 fix and flip, you can put down $100,000 from your IRA, and let's say you have no other funds, you can then borrow. We have lenders that will lend between 50 and 70% to our IRA investors, and the rates are a little higher, but not crazy. They're typically in the eight range, I think about right now, maybe up to nine, depending upon all the variables of a loan. It's not our company, but this allows individuals to leverage their IRA to buy bigger assets, and so. That's something else people do as well. And so the few rules that you can't invest in, that's the easier thing to explain than what you can't, are arts and collectibles you can't invest in. You can't invest in insurance policies, like life insurance policies on yourself. And my mind blanked here. There's you can't invest in your own. I'm sorry, your own like homes that you live in or vacation properties you visit. So some people have this great idea like, hey, I'm going to do an Airbnb. I'm going to rent it out 50 weeks out of the year. I'm going to use it for two. My IRA can't use it for two. Now, your brother can, technically, that's the law. But you cannot, or your kids, or your parents or grandparents. And so, there's those kind of little rules, but you just truly have to use your funds for investment purposes, not for use today. So yeah.
And then let's say you're super old school and you're like, I want to do this, but I do still want to do some like stock market stuff.
Stock market.
Can you invest in stocks and bonds and things like that on your own without using Charles Schwab? Like if you
Yeah,
have
you
a trade
can.
account or something to that effect.
Yeah, we have a trading platform you can use. I think it's with Axos Bank. The recommendation I
Oh,
have with that though is if you have funds that you want to leave in the stock market and you like how you're currently doing that, if you have again 100, $200,000, leave that there and move the portion that you don't want to have in the market with us. You can have two IRAs. It's not a big deal. But if you want it all in one place, we absolutely can hold it. you will absolutely get no advice from us, like I said, especially in the stock market. But it's just a platform. So it's a platform you get a log in. We definitely have clients, a lot that do use the platform. But my recommendation from personal experience is I like having my advisor for my boring bond stock market stuff. I'm okay with that. I know what to expect. But my exciting, bigger opportunities, high double digit returns in my IRA is in my self-directed IRA that I control and manage.
And then with the self-directed, can it be either IRA? Can it be a regular traditional IRA or a Roth, or does it have to be one or the other? Or what does that look like?
Yeah, so a self-directed is not actually a type of IRA. So if you have a Roth or a simple or SEP or traditional, when you roll that over to us, it's still that. It's still a simple SEP traditional Roth. It's just a self-directed simple self traditional Roth. So it just means that you're able to invest in alternative assets. But the actual rules and the type of IRA, if it's a traditional, it stays a traditional. The rules of how much you can contribute and distribute to yourself are the exact same. That doesn't change if you move your account over to us.
And then are there any other accounts? I don't know where I saw something with like HSAs or something else.
We do HSAs. We can help you set up a 401k for your business. If you're an entrepreneur listening to this and you have a business, sole proprietor, let's say, we can help you set up a 401k for your business, which is advantageous because you then are able to contribute more money to your retirement plan. A lot of people that I meet have businesses, they're behind the eight ball, they haven't been saving, and they want to put money away and they want to invest in something. Like, I'll give you a good example. You're like, hey, look, my buddy's going to start a weed business. I mean, I don't know. That seems like something. What's something else? Maybe weed's not the best example, but I'm just gonna pick on that since I said it first, right? So my buddy's gonna start a weed business, and I just say that because there's a big upside, right? Or the next PayPal, right? And I have and I can they're looking for seed money or crowdfunding, 10,000, 20,000, 100,000, whatever. I can write a check for that, of course, or I'm like, you know what? I have no retirement account. What I'm gonna do is set up a self-directed account today. We can set up within 24 hours, contribute to it, put money in it, and then have my 401k, self-directed 401k, be the investor in the weed business or in the whatever new business, the new PayPal that's up and coming. Then I would do that because I think my $10,000 is going to turn into $1 million or $100,000. And now, if you do it the right way, you won't pay taxes on it on any of the growth ever. Not, if you do, because we can set up a 401k with a Roth account. So now it's in a Roth. It's, and by the way, we have a lot of clients that will do just this. Like, hey, you know what? I'm going to wholesale 2 deals, 3 deals a year. And so my next deal I'm going to do it myself for directed IRA. So I'm going to set up an account from scratch, put in 5 grand. And now I have a retirement account. Didn't have one yesterday. Now I have one. 5 grand's in it. My next wholesale deal, I'm gonna have my IRA on. And so my IRA flips it. The $5,000 turns to $25,000. Boom. Your IRA is, and you'll pay no taxes on that
And so
ever.
that doesn't go against what you're actually putting into the IRA because the IRA made the money,
That's
right? It's
right.
not me contributing because there's a maximum what I can't contribute.
That's right. But it doesn't
But
matter. But there is no max on well, there is technically now you can only make 10 million a year now is the rule, which is still doable.
yeah, we should.
And by the way, they made that rule. We call it the Peter Thiel rule because someone did take advantage of the rule where there was no max. And that person is the guy who invested in PayPal with $5,000 and turned away with a few $100 million and
No
will never
tax.
pay taxes on it at all. And so now, because of him, they've got a rule. It hasn't been contested yet, so we don't know how it's going to look. But I think it'd be fun to have one of my clients contest the $10 million rule. We'll see how that goes. So,
Wow, so much more to it than what ChatGPT tells you.
well, and look, and frankly, it's also yeah. We started this conversation with this is like you know you don't get people. Well, before I one of my first events I spoke at like 10 years ago. I was a presenter and they had me, there was, I don't know, 400 people. I was excited. It was a big event. And, but on the agenda, it says who's talking and what the subject is, right? Greg Herleen, nobody knows who that is. A self-directed IRA. All they read was IRA, right? So I remember the break before me, I'm out in the hall, like just listening, because I like to see what people, the energy, who speaks before me, right? There's this young group of guys and a couple ladies, and they're all talking about what they're going to do if they're going to go listen to the IRA guy. And they decided they're all going to get a drink at the bar at the hotel, which I don't blame them. But they couldn't be more wrong about that decision because they probably need it more than anyone else. The reason why is they were the age that I was when I actually sat in a room and listened to a guy talk about this. And I then went and found I raised hundreds of millions of dollars from people with IRAs in my early 20s and 30s to invest and lend in different deals just because I sat and listened to some guy talk about a boring self-directed IRA. So it is actually one of, I think, the sexiest things. Of course, I'm biased about it, but if you are looking to get better returns in your IRA, or if you have no money and you're looking to find money and scale your business, get equity, capital. This is the kind of low-hanging fruit that's all around you.
Wow. So tons of information. Jessica, I know you're on. Do you have any questions or is there anything that you wanted to know or some ideas that you had that you wanted to toss around since we have Greg here?
This is all brand for me. So I am definitely just trying to find out. So I have a self-directed IRA, but now that me and my husband are both entrepreneurs, like we've got old corporate 401ks. I'm not a very good zoomer. I'm trying to figure out this camera thing. Hi, I'm in the
Hello.
middle of working. But anyways, like so our 401ks are not being managed that just sit from those companies. So getting involved with a trust like this, like what's the process?
The process is simple. We typically do like a 10-15 minute phone call with you. Well, all we need really, or if you want to make it even shorter, all we need is a copy of your old 401k from your prior employer, and we can fill out
Mhm.
the application for you, send it to you. You can review it, sign it, and then we start the process of getting the money rolled over. It takes about 7 days, sometimes more. Sometimes if your money's coming from another company who doesn't want to let the money go, they could be more difficult. But we follow up every day on your money till it arrives. So just the application process, 15 minutes. But to make it go fast, if you have a copy of your 401k statement, that makes it go a lot quicker.
Okay, cool.
Yep.
And then if that's something that she wanted to do, who does she reach out to? What's a
I've got my staff. If you shoot me an email, I'll get it to my team, and they'll send you an email to schedule an appointment. So my email is just
Okay.
gregherleen@horizontrust.com. So Greg can get it to you. I know you've got it as well, Greg. So all the Gregs here today. So yeah, just my email, gregherleen@horizontrust.com, and I'll get you set up with some of my team.
Awesome.
So
awesome?
yep,
Well,
yep.
Greg, I really appreciate your time. Thank you so much for jumping on this with us. And I'm going to keep pumping out content on and around this because like you said, it doesn't start out sexy, but I mean, it really is. I mean, just that one example of buying something in your IRA and like tripling the money, like you're not going to do that anywhere else. And so those like wholesaling and fix and flipping, we have a lot of people that do it and they're doing it and paying huge capital gains on it when they could just be doing something that makes more tax sense. I mean,
Yep.
yeah, you don't get access to the money now, but you could do, if you're doing 10 a year, you could do five in the IRA and five out of the IRA. And so like, yeah, I think it's something that a lot of people don't know about. And I'm going to go out there and get more people to know about it.
Well, and look, a third or more, probably more actually, 50% of your community, like that you're around, has an IRA or old 401k from a prior employer. So it's applicable. It's just more of when are they interested? Are they interested? And if they would hear and listen for 10 or 15 minutes, like we kind of started with in the beginning, most likely almost everybody would do it. It's just, do I want to talk about IRAs today or do I want a cocktail at the bar? I mean, it's a little tough one. I get it.
100%. Well, I appreciate it. I appreciate your time and we'll talk to you soon.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
All
We'll see
right.
you.
Bye, Jess.
Thanks,
Thanks.
Jessica.
Bye.